Alright, not sure how good this is going to turn out, but wanted to walk through how I have my Stream Deck set up, all the different profiles I have, and some of the buttons that I had to configure in order to get to do what I needed to do. And what I mean by that is, applications in the background that need to launch, as well as a lighting solution that I have with some Govee lights, and things like that. So when I first boot up in my computer, this screen here is the first screen that comes up, and this is mouse controls. So if I don't want to use my touchpad that I have on the side of my shifter or the wireless keyboard that I have, I can just use this to do whatever I need to do to navigate at launch of my PC. Hitting the home button here, all of these home buttons, I have one on every single screen. This button here actually goes to the next profile, and then if this one is not blank, then it means that it's going to the next page. So I'll show an example. So here's my home page. It's a video that you can look on YouTube. There's a couple of guys that have done it. It's very time consuming. It was fun to do though. One of the things that I found each of the demos that I've seen on YouTube do, or forget to do, is that they forgot to take out the amount of space in between the buttons. So if you look at this right now, for the most part, you can each square kind of comes across in back of the separator, which means that it looks like it's a screen with a grid just placed on top of it, which was the whole purpose. I didn't want to go to the point where each square was offset and it kind of stretched the image and made it look really weird. It's a little off sync. If I go out and then back in, it goes back in sync. I really don't have this on. This was more of just a fun to do. It took about 2 hours though, kind of crazy. In any event, I have every single one of these buttons. No matter which one you press, it will go back to this screen. Now this is technically my home screen. Everything on the left side is applications or games. Everything kind of in the middle is one-off things. Like this here will actually launch the Stream Deck application on my PC. I'm actually recording my PC right now, so hopefully I can figure this out, how to get it all kind of synced. And again, here is that second, or the third button. So you have home, next profile, and the next page. So before I go to the next page, just to explain real quick, this is my YouTube channel, a whole 16 subscribers, whoop-de-doo. This is to empty recycle bin, test manager. This is running a speed test in the background. It'll come up in a little bit if I still stay on this page at that time. This is the current weather outside. When the Stream Deck boots up, this is actually kind of blank. I think it says like weather in cursive, and then when you hit it, it does a quick search in the background online to see what the weather is at my location. You have to set the location and everything. And then there you can see the speed test completed. This button here will jump to the mouse setup that I showed earlier. So this is the screen that comes up in the beginning. I don't know if I showed that earlier or not. But anyways, when I boot up my PC, this is what I get. So I'll go back to here. This is just a clock. This power button will bring me to the kind of power shutdown, reboot, lock thingy for PC. So if I wanted to shut down, I can just hit confirm and it'll shut my PC down without having to do anything else. I can reboot and also cancel. So if I hit cancel, it goes back to whatever I set for my boot up screen, which of course is this mouse page here. So that's pretty much this screen here. This is Race Department. It just launches a Chrome tab, Steam, what is it called? SimHub, and then of course games and stuff. So if I go to let me go to the second page here. So on the second page, there's a few things here. This speakers, you'll actually see this on almost every other page. So an issue that I have, I'm not sure why, but an issue that I have is when I play certain sim racing games, all of a sudden the sound will have a very loud buzz for about 3 or 4 seconds, and then it'll just cut out. No voice, no sound, no nothing. All you will hear is what's it called? Crew chief. So that's the only thing you can hear, because crew chief obviously is using, it's not all built into the same game. So what I have this do is when I hit this, it will actually toggle to an unused audio output on the PC. So I just have the secondary thing show as like speakers off, but it really doesn't turn the speakers off. It just changes it to an unused output. And then when I hit it back, it changes back to whatever the standard output is. Again, I don't know why that happens. I've been searching online. I can't find anything substantial. So it is what it is. It's a workaround. It's maybe eventually I'll be able to figure it out. This button here is built in with one of the plugins that I downloaded for Stream Deck. It basically turns HDR on and off for my monitors. HW info. So you'll see that each of these have a bunch of please launch HW info 64. So these are all buttons that I configured that are tied to certain parts of my PC's health. So like CPU percentage, CPU temperature, RAM, GPU, all that kind of stuff. So in order for these to work, you have to have this application called HW Info running on your PC. I don't ever have it turned on because it does take up a little bit of RAM and CPU. Not that it matters, but I don't watch this page. Again, this is something that I just wanted to play around with. So I'll hit this to launch it. And again, if this works out well, you'll be able to see my PC screen. I'll just hit yes to launch it. And then eventually it will come up with another screen that basically you just click close on. And what you'll see is, again, all of these different tiles I have set up with different things. GPU. I also color coded them, at least the color of the letters, right? So these are GPU, all the GPU with frames per second, megahertz of the GPU, the heat or temperature, I should say, and then the percentage of the GPU that's being used. And again, RAM is pretty much the same as GPU. CPU, I have all my cores here, both physical and virtual cores. And then this is my up and down network. So, right now, so that goes up and down. I'm going to turn this off because I really have no need to leave it on, but I just wanted to show that. Where is that? There we go. Quit. And then these should all go to whatever it said before. Yeah, there you go. Okay. So I'm going to launch. Well, let me go through some of the other screens real quick. So home screen, basically. The next one, this one I believe is for ACC. So there's a couple customizations I added here. So all of these like yellow boxes with black or dark inserts, those actually display live data from the game through SimHub. I'll have to figure. I'll find the links to stuff. I'll try to put them in the detail for this video. But basically, engine map. So one of the problems that I had early on, one of the things that was very frustrating is I wanted to turn engine map up and down, right? And you have the buttons, right? It's fine. It works fine. The thing that was really frustrating, though, is I didn't know what engine map I was on unless I looked at the HUD. Now, in general, the HUD is fine. I have triple screens. I like to not have the HUD or have a minimal HUD. So it's just one of those things. It's kind of a little bit of a nuisance. It really isn't. It's really just me being picky. But in any case, I like being able to see stuff right off the bat. So right here, it will live show whatever engine map is. And what's really cool, because it feeds right through SimHub, when the game is open and you go to a different car or whatever, as soon as you get onto the track with whatever car you're on, all of these live updates. So you know exactly what the ABS, the engine map, the TC is all set at for that car at the start of whatever. It's really, 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 really nice. I wish it worked flawlessly. There are some quirks I've noticed. But in general, it's accurate, and that's really all I can ask for. I don't really piddle around with that stuff too much. I'm not some kind of freak of nature when it comes to racing. I just enjoy racing a lot. So just having more things to make it more realistic feeling is all I really care about. All the buttons are pretty self-explanatory. Some of the stuff that I did customized are things like indicator left, indicator right, and hazard. So these three were really tricky. And the only reason I say that, I mean, in ACC, if you're not familiar, they have, left and right indicators, and then they also have hazards. And one of the things with hazards is, or it doesn't have hazards, but you can make it look like it has hazards by turning on your left and right indicator at the same time. So I kind of custom built a hazard button, and what this hazard does, I'm going to skip back to my PC here and just click on the hazard so I can show you. So it's got two actions, and the two actions are that it hits W and P. And if I go back here to the previous, you'll see that indicator left is W and indicator right is Y. Oh, well, that's wrong. This needs to be Y then. Let me fix that. Oh, it is Y. It just says P. Silly. Let me just remove that. I'll just put a Y there, just so that I know. Okay. Back. All right, so again, this is W, this is Y. So what this button does is it hits W and then Y right after it. And these three buttons, when you hit it and in-game, if the indicator's on, again, that feeds off of SimHub. So if my indicator is on when I first join a game, this will start blinking. And the way that I did that is I took two different icons, or Stream Deck icons, or whatever you want to call them, and I took the off, or at least what I use is off, and then I took the whatever I use is on, and I put them in a there's an application called, let's see here, I'll pull it up here. It's like GIF Maker or something like that. Animated GIF Maker. I'll bring this into the screen so you can see it. Yeah, so here it is right here. So you just drop the two files in here, you upload make a GIF, and then you can actually choose what the timing is to stay on and off. So I'll show you, I'll launch ACC and I'll show you these. Same with cycle. One of the things that I didn't like is that I like the buttons to change if it's a button that when pressed should show as activated. The problem with ACC, actually most games, is that when you turn on the windshield wipers, there's like more than just one setting for windshield wipers, so you're toggling through 2 or 3 different speed settings. I didn't like having it on and not having this lit up somehow. So again, I used the SimHub plugin deal. I'll probably do a different video on how I did that, but this will blink very slowly compared to these indicators. This blinks very slowly, but it will show you that it's on. Obviously, when you're driving, you can see that it's on, but again, it's just one of those little things that make it feel a little more real, or at least kind of cool. So that's what I did for this button, this button, this button, and this button. Rain light, it does feed off of if the rain light is on, but it's just on or off. Like right now, it's just black. But you might be able to see it kind of flash red there. That's what it shows when it's on. Same with lights. This will, highlight if the lights are actually on. Whereas if they didn't feed off of anything, it would just either be the same, or it would go to whatever I had it to show that it's on. But if I went to a different car and the lights weren't on, this would still show on, which was again, it's one of those kind of annoying things that really doesn't matter. But it was cool to be able to figure out. That's pretty much it for this. This is by far the most work out of all of the other pages that I made, just because most of the buttons have a back end of tying into SimHub to show that it's on or off. So I'll show ACC. I think that's probably pretty much the only game I'm going to show, just to show you how these buttons work. This, I believe, is the original AC. So this is Assetto Corsa, and it's got some of the same stuff, you know, hazards, lights, ABS, all that kind of stuff. I find that the SimHub tie-in doesn't work so well with AC. It works pretty good with ACC, but for whatever reason doesn't work great with AC. Something you'll notice is that it does have a second page screen, or a second page button over here, and that's because these two buttons here, mirror and engine, not sure how focused that's going to look, but anyways, mirror and engine, these go to a second page. They go to the same second page, but here I'll hit mirror. And for mirror, in Assetto Corsa, what you can do is there's this like real mirror plugin through, I forget what it's called. But anyways, basically you can adjust your mirrors. So what I do is whenever I get into a car that I haven't driven yet, I'll go to mirrors, and then I'll, you know, select. It usually starts on the left mirror, then the center mirror, and then the right mirror. So this toggles between the three mirrors, and then this is exactly what it does. This, you know, tilts the mirror up, left, down, and right. So you can get the mirrors are all perfect how you want them. Or I should say the mirror, then you hit this to go to the next mirror, you do the same next mirror. And if there's only two mirrors, then obviously there's only going to be two mirrors. This over here, these are the engine-based toggles. So you have MGUK up and down recovery, MGUK delivery up and down, engine brake up and down, and boost up and down. And then you also have this MGUH. I don't use these ever. I really want to get into understanding how this stuff works. I guess I'm just not quite there yet. So this is AC. Again, here's that stereo or whatever the speaker thing that I have to do. Camera button to change views. That was also on the AC one, or ACC one, I'm sorry. All right, so the next one here, this is actually Automobilista 2. This one's this one I use the most because I play Automobilista 2 quite a bit, but any game that I don't have set up specific pages for, this is the default page that I have for those games. So like R Factor 2, the original Automobilista, R Factor 1, I can't think of it. Anyways, whatever standard games I play that don't have specific settings that are kind of standard with other racing games, this is what I use. The handbrake is kind of cool. This is very similar to the directional buttons and hazard on the other one that I'll show you, in that when I pull the handbrake, this flashes. It's really slick. I don't know. Again, it's one of those kind of silly things, but it just looks really cool. All of these are assists, right? So in AMS2, if you're not familiar, there's a bunch of assists that you can turn on. In the beta, they actually just turned on the ability to have an auto shift button as well, which I don't think they had before. So I'm going to have to figure out where to put that here. I don't use any of these, but when one of my grandsons come over, or someone that doesn't do sim racing wants to race, I always just boot up AMS2 because it's the simplest to boot up. It's super easy, no muss, no fuss kind of thing. And then all I'll do is I'll just hit each of these buttons. And when you hit it, it turns green to show that it's on. ABS, you saw that it didn't turn green. And this one doesn't turn green either with, I think this is, I don't know, stability controller or whatever. These two, even though I hit them, they turn on in-game, but these do same with the handbrake. So whenever ABS is active on the car when you're braking hard, this will flash green. Same for this. If you're spinning your tires, this will flash green. So even though these show, they kind of seem like they're off, they're actually on. Well, if the game was running. So that's what these buttons do. Kind of cool. ABS, this is the same as ACC, where this should show your ABS readout. Engine map up and down. Here are your ARBs, front and back, plus and minus. This doesn't work with, this doesn't show that it's on for some reason in AMS2, even though it's set up the same as ACC's button. And then, of course, you have all your seat with your pitching and everything as well. Next one is, this is iRacing, which I actually just let my yeah, I'm not paying for it. I can't think of the words, but anyways, these all are live too. Whenever iRacing is turned on, all of these, even though they show offline, they'll show like live readouts. This is different. This doesn't feed through SimHub. This is actually specific to iRacing. There's a plugin for Stream Deck that you can download. And then what do I have here? Oh yeah, this is just extra stuff. This is for like black box settings for iRacing. I usually go into iRacing maybe 3 or 4 months out of the year. It's usually only when I either get tired of other games or I just want to race online only. So this here is for American Truck Simulator and European Truck Simulator. I'm not going to explain everything, but basically these are all the settings. This gets you to, I forget what it is. It's like your entertainment or your infotainment. This I'll show you in a second, but this gets you to the GPS and yeah, basically the GPS stuff in the car, or in the truck, excuse me. Park, if this is enabled, you saw it kind of turn red there for a second. That's because this also feeds from SimHub, so if the game actually does have the parking brake on, this will light up red. Same with engine start. This doesn't show that it's on, but when it is on, it actually changes. I'll show on the PC what that looks like. So when it turns on, it looks like this. So it's very, very different, which is what I wanted. I still don't like it. It's not, or I should say, it's not the ideal, but it's what I had at the time. So, and then here's what park looks like when it's on. So that's these. Now, if I hit this, which again is like the GPS, this goes to a second page. It also has all of my camera settings. So I can change, the camera view. These all came from, I can't remember where I got these from. I'll try to get all the links in the description. And then these are all buttons that you can map within the game. I haven't really used much of this because I haven't played American Truck Simulator too much lately. But I did want to set up a box so that once I do get there, it'll be a little bit easier and more slick. All right, and then you've already seen this. This is the shutdown, reboot, lock stuff, and then this is the mouse stuff. So this right here, I have a few pages like this. Every time you see a button that has like a slight outline, it's a button that has some kind of live readout from SimHub. So this is kind of my play area. Whenever I boot up a game, or when I first got this all working with SimHub, I set up a key for every single thing that SimHub can do, and then I launched a game and made note of the things in here that it worked on, and then I would make a copy of this in the Stream Deck, like a copy of a button, and then paste it into whatever profile I wanted to do. So that way I have like working buttons that I can just copy and paste into other profiles instead of, creating one from scratch every single time. Just too much work. So as you can see, I have like a few different pages here. Total of 5 different pages, but that's only because I haven't condensed everything. There's a bunch of blank ones in here. I want to condense it so that when I launch a game, I can see, more condensed view, and then again make note of what works, what doesn't work. And that's it. So as you saw, that home button goes directly to this. Otherwise, every other home button goes to this screen here. And that's pretty much it for that. So I'm going to stop, and then I'm going to start ACC, and we'll go from there.